So this tool is essentially going to be helping a lot of recruiters and any like recruitment agencies filter through their top candidates for the specific job posting that they post. So recruiters save time, money, resources, and just focus on the candidates that actually matter and will actually push through and be placed, right? So just a quick overview of what this is. I just pulled up like the local host. So it's just a local running application here. So these are some of the shortlisted applicants. And then on the left side, you see that you can post like a job title, job description, and then you can build a short list of all the candidates that you have in your kind of CSV that you upload to the application. And then it comes up as evidence shortlist, and then for the specific roles and things like that, you can see some of the score based evidence that the application kind of like decides for you. And then on the right side here, you can approve it and prepare for your outreach, right? So you can just come in here and recruiters will have like a very efficient way of filtering through candidates, potentially saving hours, thousands of dollars of recruitment time and recruitment headache can be used through this application and the workflows that I'll be showing you guys how to build. So let's get into the actual building phase. I'll show you a document, how to build it, and then it'll take you step by step of how to build this out for your recruitment agency, or if you're building it for someone, that as well, right? So let's get into it. So I have this build recruiter screen tool. So before you start, you need to install Node.js, open a code editor in a terminal. I use VS Code for my applications. Keep a small CSV or synthetic candidate records ready for testing. So you should bring in your own set of candidates based on whatever CRM you use, or not CRM, but like whatever recruiting tool you use, and then you can use that using OpenAI API key only if you want to enable the optional AI mode. Never use a real candidate information while learning or testing the application. So start with the recruiter problem. So what you're building here is a recruitment-based database often containing good candidates who were added months ago, years ago. The problem is not always finding more people. Sometimes it's finding the right people who are already in the database. So write one clear brief, a job brief, define the input as a list of candidate records, define the output as a short list with evidence and questions to validate, keep the recruiter in a control of approval and outreach. Check your work before writing code, confirm the workflows you're building, enter a role brief, generate a shortlist, review the evidence, approve a candidate, and prepare outreach. So right now you have to create the React foundation. So what you're building here is the Next.js app, is a React framework. React controls the interactive screen, while Next.js gives you the page structure and small server routes for optional AI requests. So if you guys go to Next.js, you can just like kind of search the framework here. So it's basically a React framework built for like server-side rendering and stuff like that. So what is Next.js? Next.js is a React framework for building full stack web application. You use React components to build a user interface, and Next.js for additional features and optimization. It also automatically configures lower level tools like bundlers and compilers. You can instead of focus on building your product and shipping quickly. So it's a quick way for you to kind of ramp up on the whole operation. And this is something that Codex can also help you build out properly. So next is create the Next.js app. Create app page TSX for the main page, create the app components, and then all the components that go into it. So this is really essentially just building out the initial phase of the React components. So part 3 is be defining the candidate data. So what you're building here is matching works better when candidate's information is structured. A small consistent candidate type also makes it the rest of the app easier to build. So you want to have like things like, so years of experience, skills and achievement, a short summary, and the last contacted date. So you have all these things that you can kind of filter through. And if you're passing it through the AI bot, like the AI agent will be able to recognize and match it towards the perfect candidate, right? Part 4 is build the evidence matcher. So matcher is a transparent rule engine. It reads the job brief, finds clear requirements, and checks whether those requirements appear in structured candidate fields. So build the steps is detect requirements such as B2B SaaS, enterprise sales, sales location, and years of experience. Compare each requirement with the candidate's structured skills, title, location, and achievements. Calculate the evidence coverage score. Save the supporting evidence and missing evidence separately. Sort the candidate and return the top 5 for human review. Important rule, call it an evidence score, not a hiring score. So negative wording such as limited outbound experience must never count as a positive evidence. This just helps keep the constraints proper. check your work, run the matcher, select the highest ranked candidate, and confirm that you are seeing supporting evidence and at least one question to validate. Part 5 is build the recruiter workspace. So what you're building here, the screen follows the recruiter's natural workflow from left to right. So the left panel, as you saw earlier in the post, is the editable role title, job requirements, reasoning mode, and build shortlist button. And then the middle panel is a rank candidate card with evidence scores and approved buttons. Right panel, full evidence questions to validate candidate details and outreach queues. And then top metrics records search shortlist size, average evidence scores. In reasoning mode, use React states so the screen updates immediately after every action. Check your work, edit the role brief, click button shortlist, and confirm that the candidate's order and detect requirements updates. So if you go here, this is kind of like the layout that I was talking about. And then, yeah, so the top is kind of like the stats and the left side. So just to keep everything on a single page application. Part 6, add CSV import and browser storage. The app becomes useful when a recruiter can replace sample data with their own exports. For this first version, the workspace stays on one device and does not require a database. Provide a downloadable CSV template, accept common columns such as full name, job title, city, and years, validate required fields, and skip incomplete roles. Save the role, candidate, record approval, and contact status in local storage. Add a CSV import for the current shortlist. So browser storage is suitable for simple single recruiter versions. Production agency product would need secure login, encrypted database storage, tenant separation, retention controls, and audit logs. Check your work, import us. So like essentially like if you were going to do actual full production build of this for an actual client, you would use something like Supabase or some sort of database, relational database preferably, to store all the contact data, and then you can kind of like structure it and pull that data from the servers whenever needed. Next is part 7, add the human review and outreach flow. So where you're building here, AI can organize evidence, but the recruiter should decide who moves forward, whether any message is sent. Build steps, let the recruiter approve or remove a candidate from the outreach queue. Create a short outreach draft using the role and one candidate achievement. Add copy, open email, and mark content actions. Do not send emails automatically. Save approvals and contact states in the workspace. Check your work, approve one candidate, open the draft copy, and mark the person as contacted. Confirm that no message is sent without a recruiter action. So for actual like emails and stuff like that, you can actually use resend. I actually have been using these a lot, so it's like very nice for developers. You can send out like mail at scale, and like I think the pricing is pretty decent as well compared to a lot of places. But yeah, you have like the email API, and you'll be able to like connect it to your application, and then whenever like certain actions happen, the mail can be sent out, and then you can actually customize it whichever way you want, right? So for stuff like that, it's pretty nice for sending out emails to like the candidates that you want, especially like referring back to the emails that like the actual job posting, so that the email contains all the information that the user needs. So add optional OpenAI reasoning. I said this is optional, but it's actually this is where it takes your applications to the next level. Though local matcher makes absolutely work without an API, OpenAI reasoning is an optional second layer for more flexible comparisons and clearer summaries. So add the OpenAI key, send the role brief and local pre-selected candidate set to the response API. Request structured JSON candidates, candidate evidence score, evidence gaps, and summary. Validate the return candidate ID before showing the results. Fall back into the local matcher and display a clear notice if the API is unavailable. So when AI mode is enabled, only send the candidates information needed for the task. Never expose the API key in the browser, and do not infer protected characteristics or recommended hires or rejections. Check your work. Run the app once in local mode and once in AI mode. If no key is configured, confirm that the safe fallback messages appear. So part 9, apply the Jegnia design system. A focused business tool should feel like part of the same company, not a separate template. Reuse the official Jegnia logo and fave icon. Use the existing Navy services. So this is like, instead of Jegnia Systems, you apply it to whatever business you're applying this for. So they have like, so it's like more of a white label product. Key evidence action keys needed to read it before adding decoration. Test the headers. So this is just custom solution, more white label stuff that you want to do when you're if you're building this for someone, or you want to kind of have a smooth transition for your actual business. Test and finish the product. What you're building. A finished build should work, explain errors clearly, and survive common user actions. A strong candidate ranks near the top. Missing evidence appears as a question to validate. Negative wording does not become positive evidence. The CSV template imports successfully. Incomplete roles are handled clearly. Approval and contact states are a survival reload. The shortlist exports safely to CSV. The production build completes with no browser errors. The interface has no horizontal overvalue on mobile. So check all the builds and say everything compiles correctly. So suggested implementation workflow, define the outcome, plan the data, build the core, test and workflow, and plan the next version. So essentially after this, you can see how like different applications are being used in the business as well. So once you have like whatever tool they use, like say if they use Greenhouse, you can use the Greenhouse API to pull information from Greenhouse and then populate it into the application. And if you want to connect using like make.com or Zapier, you can also connect those two together. So if I send an API call from the application, you can go through make.com, maybe connect to your emails or connect to other things, and then you can have like a very concise workflow to be able to do any type of work and make everything more efficient. So this build kind of makes it efficient for the recruiter to have like a very concise, narrowed focus. So focus is what will make this application work the most and save the recruiter as many hours as possible, and ultimately bring in more income and more placements for the recruitment agency or recruitment company that you build this for, or for yourself, right? So if you guys want this document, it'll be in my school community. You can go there and download it. And if you guys need more builds, or you have a business that you're just wondering what kind of automations or things you can use to increase your revenue, increase your income, or save you guys more time, please give me a shout at jegnia.com or leave me a message down below, or yeah, just shout me out so I can help you and we can see what we can do there and what workflows would be best for your company. So see you guys next time.